Welcome back to Drive Genius, and in this video we're going to take a look at Tanner Morgan, quarterback from the University of Minnesota. We're going to watch Minnesota's game against Penn State, in which Minnesota won 31-26. Tanner Morgan finished 18 of 20 for 339 yards and 3 touchdowns on the day, so he had a really good game against Penn State. Tanner Morgan is one of my favorite quarterbacks that I watched going into this season, and I think this Penn State game really highlights some of the parts of his game that I really like. So we're going to watch this game and pick out a few plays and point out a few things that Tanner Morgan really does well on film. On this first play, Minnesota comes out in a balanced 2-by-2 formation. Penn State's defense comes out in a 2-high shell with press corners on the outside. So that tells me that they're running some type of half-field coverage or some type of quarters coverage on this play. Minnesota runs an RPO here, which is something that you'll see them do a lot if you watch their offense on film. The number one receiver to the top of the screen is running a hitch route, but it doesn't seem like he's really a part of the read here. He might be if they get a certain type of look from the Penn State defense, but they clearly don't get that look because the ball doesn't go to that guy. The read here is to the 2 receiver side at the bottom of the screen. And to that side, you get a hitch by the number 2 receiver and a bang post or glance route, as some will call it, by the number 1 receiver. They fake the split zone, which gets the linebackers up to the line of scrimmage. And the field safety breaks on the hitch by the number 2 receiver, which opens up a big window for the number 1 receiver on that bang post. The number 1 receiver is able to beat the corner on this route, and Tanner Morgan places this ball perfectly with accuracy and with anticipation. He's starting to get rid of the ball before the receiver is even out of his break, and the ball gets there well before the boundary safety can get over to make a play on it. I love Tanner Morgan's base here. His heels aren't coming together, and he's always in the perfect position to get rid of the ball quickly. He even takes a little love tap here at the end of this play. It's good to see him standing strong in the pocket and delivering a pass that's right on the money with accuracy. On this next play, Minnesota comes out in a twin set with 2 wideouts to the field, and they're simply just running the bubble go concept here with the number 2 receiver on the hash running the bubble and the number 1 receiver at the top of the numbers running the go route. Tanner Morgan takes a quick 3-step drop and throws a beautiful pass out to the sideline to the number 1 receiver who makes the play and runs to the end zone untouched. It's interesting to see what Penn State does here defensively because they bring a 6-man pressure with the outside backer to the field and the safety that's aligned on the number 2 receiver. I assume that they're playing man coverage behind that, so this puts a couple guys in conflict. First, the inside backer is in conflict because he has to replace the blitzing safety and cover that number 2 receiver. He's already out of position by alignment, and he's not going to be able to get out to the number 2 receiver. So if the ball goes to that guy, there's no way that inside linebacker can get there and make a play. Since the number 2 receiver is wide open, the corner sees the bubble route, and he breaks on it, leaving that number 1 receiver wide open on the go route. This puts the free safety in a tough spot because he has to run all the way from the opposite hash to the far sideline, which he can't do here. He's about a step too late, and that's the difference between this play being an interception and a Minnesota touchdown. Once again, I love Tanner Morgan's base here. He always has his base in a good position to throw the ball, and he delivers a beautiful pass here with nice touch and velocity from the opposite hash to the far sideline for a Minnesota touchdown. On this play, we have another twin set by Minnesota, and Penn State comes out in a 2-high look once again. You get a play fake here that not only gets Penn State's backers up into the line of scrimmage, but their safeties are also really aggressive playing the run. To the twin side, you have the number 2 receiver on a bender route working the middle of the field, and he comes wide open on this play as the field safety bites on the run. Tanner Morgan honestly has that route if he wants it. He chooses not to go to that bender route, and he instead looks to number 1, who's running a dig route that comes wide open as well. There's absolutely no underneath defenders in the picture, and all Tanner Morgan has to do is get rid of the ball to his guy running wide open in the middle of the field. He's got an excellent base once again. He hitches up into the pocket to buy his receiver some time to get open, and he puts the ball on the money across the middle of the field for a big gain. On the next play, Minnesota comes out in a 3-by-1 bunch set, and they run a follow concept with their 3 receivers to the field. Penn State's playing man-free all the way. In my opinion, they could do a better job of getting their DBs on different levels because they're just asking to be picked here, and that's exactly what happens. The number 1 receiver running the shallow route comes free, but the ball isn't thrown because the Mike backer is sitting right there in the window. Penn State brings pressure and Tanner Morgan is flushed out of the pocket. I wouldn't classify him as a dual threat quarterback or anything like that. I think he'd rather sit in the pocket and pick teams apart, but he is mobile. He's definitely able to extend plays and take off and run if he has to. I've said this a million times on this channel, but I think being able to move around at the quarterback position is more important than it's ever been. Tanner Morgan is a guy that's more than capable, and I love that he slides here at the end of the play. Get what you can on the play and protect yourself. No need to take unnecessary punishment. This play is another example of a beautifully thrown ball. Minnesota comes out in the 2x2 spread set here, and they're running 4 verts on this play. Penn State's playing press quarters here, and they're bracketing the slot receivers, which means you have one-on-one matchups on the outside. Tanner Morgan takes the easy throw down to the boundary, and his receiver is not able to make the play. When we look at the tight view of this play, we can see exactly how good of a throw this was. The DB from Penn State is in good position the whole way right here. Tanner Morgan has to make a damn near perfect throw for this one to be completed. He does just that, and he puts this ball in probably the only place where his receiver can go up and make the play. You really can't ask for a better throw than this. All the receiver has to do is go up and haul it in, which he's not able to do on this play. On this next play, we get a 3x1 set here by Minnesota, and they're just running the RPO once again. They run inside zone, and the play fake gets the boundary safety up into the box to play the run. The receiver to the boundary runs a slant right in the zone where the safety vacated, and Tanner Morgan drops a dime here for a big gain. Looking at the tight view, you can see that there's nobody in the window, so Tanner Morgan should be able to complete this throw easily. What you see from some quarterbacks is that they tend to rush it. The receiver is so wide open and they're so eager to get the ball out that they rush it and it's inaccurate. Tanner Morgan takes his time, he gets his base right, and he delivers a comfortable ball here that his receiver is able to catch and run with. Next play, Minnesota comes out in the 3x1 wing set here with an extra offensive lineman to the strong side of the formation. Penn State's in a 3-under-3 deep zone here with the insert safety to the bottom of the screen. The number 1 receiver to the bottom of the screen is one-on-one with the corner, and he's running the fade route on the outside. Once again, the corner is in good position, but Tanner Morgan throws another beautiful pass right on the outside shoulder of that receiver for the Minnesota touchdown. This is an NFL throw right here, and Tanner Morgan has throws like this all over his film. I think it's very, very impressive stuff. So that was a quick look at Tanner Morgan. He had a lot of good throws in that Penn State game. After watching a few games of his on film, I can see why Minnesota had the season that they did in 2019. Not only does he throw the ball extremely well, he just has this moxie and swagger about him that a lot of good quarterbacks have. Something that I can't really describe, but Tanner Morgan definitely has it. I know Trevor Lawrence, Justin Fields, and Trey Lance are all getting the headlines right now as far as the quarterbacks go, but in my opinion, Tanner Morgan deserves to be in that conversation with those 3 guys.